Psalm 1. Blessed is the man who has not walked in the counsel of the ungodly, and has not stood in the way of sinners, and has not sat in the seat of evil men. But his pleasure is in the law of the Lord, and in his law will he meditate day and night. And he shall be as a tree planted by the brooks of waters, which shall yield its fruit in its season, and its leaf shall not fall off, and whatsoever he shall do shall be prospered. Not so the ungodly, not so. Rather, as the chaff which the wind scatters away from the face of the earth. Therefore, the ungodly shall not rise in judgment, nor sinners in the counsel of the just. For the Lord knows the way of the righteous, but the way of the ungodly shall perish. Shabbat Shalom and welcome to the Book of Psalms. Psalm 1 has 6 verses. It's a short chapter. In the first verse, we have a verb tense difference. Now in the Hebrew, they use what is called perfect or imperfect tense, which means that it is up to the translator to use, according to their wisdom and their understanding, which tense would fit the context, would best fit the context of the verse. Tense is inferred from the context, which makes prophetic writings, whether perceived as prophetic or not, more challenging to interpret. So here we have the Septuagint rendering this context as being past tense, whereas the Masoretic renders it as present tense. We're going to fast forward to verse 4. Actually, verse 2. Let's go to verse 2. It reads here, his pleasure is in the law of the Lord, in his Torah. Why is this important to point out? Well, the footnote reads, will. Will meaning volition, free will. So if we read it merely on the surface, that it is the pleasure of this blessed man to do the law, or is in the law of the Lord. It means this is something that he finds pleasurable to do. This is a joy for him. This is something that he is happy in, gives him happiness. But when we look deeper into the footnote and we consider what the implications are, when you say it is his will, his want is in the law of the Lord. His choice, his free will dictates that he has chosen to obey Elohim. It's not something he has been coerced to do. He has chosen Torah. It's a matter of free will. It's his volition. You could say it's his good pleasure, but will seems to clarify that there is a decision to make. You can choose to obey the Torah or not to obey it, for it to have authority over your life, or for you to be the authority over your own life and not have Elohim as your master. That's verse 2. Moving ahead to verse 4. It said, wind scatters away from the face of the earth. So it's scattering away the chaff. Where? Away from the face of the earth. The Masoretic simply says drives away. Driving them away where? Well, we don't know. Or it's more specific in the Septuagint that they're going away from the face of the earth, meaning they have no place on the earth. That is an implication that could be a possibility. I'm open to different possibilities in regards to that interpretation for that verse. Verse 5, significant difference, rise in judgment versus stand in judgment. So there's seems to be resurrection implications here, because if one does not stand in the judgment, it means perhaps that you won't be judged. Whereas in the Septuagint it reads, shall not rise in judgment. So this could mean that as a result of the judgment, so being judged, they are judged to not be worthy of resurrection. They will not rise to the resurrection of life, because there are two resurrections, one to condemnation and one to life. So as a result of the judgment, they're going to be part of that condemnation, not the resurrection to life. So that is one way to see it. You can also use that in the Masoretic to some degree. If you say, as a result of the judgment, they are not able to stand, that is one way to see it. In any case, I'll leave it at that. And then the latter half of the verse reads, nor sinners, pretty much the same thing, shall not rise in the counsel of the just. So what does this word mean? Well, I looked it up in the original Greek. It can be purpose, it can mean advice, but it can also mean, as it says here, congregation, which actually makes more sense. This translation, the English translation anyway, makes more sense in the Masoretic. It can mean purpose. You won't rise in their purposes, but looking at the context of ungodly not rising in the judgment, or sinners in the group, the congregation of the just, also makes sense. Because counsel could be advice, it could be purpose, but it could mean a council, meaning a group of people. So they won't not just stand, so sinners won't stand in the congregation of the righteous. Is that what it's talking about? No, because we know that there are tares among the wheat. Sinners are embedded in congregations of the righteous. We even had, in the 12 disciples, one was a betrayer. One was a traitor. Okay, so I think that's all for this video. Thank you very much for your time. And let me just do a closing statement. All right, so thank you very much for your time, ladies and gentlemen. As you will have noticed, we have shorts on this new book of Psalms. It's just something that was put on my heart. I felt it was more authentic to do this for the book of Psalms, because there are a lot of videos that depict the Psalms, but not using the Septuagint translation, and not in such a way that we're doing here on this channel. Because in other channels, it just doesn't, it's not my taste. It doesn't vibe with me. It doesn't reverberate in my soul the way that some of these channels are doing voiceovers, and it's just, a little too, anyway, it's just not to my liking. But the way that we've been doing these videos so far, we've done 3 of them, Psalm 1, Psalm 2, Psalm 3, and we seem to be doing them in 3, so we'll be doing the differences for Psalm 2 and then Psalm 3, and then we'll continue on with our series of shorts. They are quite time consuming, but they're very rewarding, because it does, I get to express my artistic vision and flex my artistic muscles that way. So thank you very much for your support. Please subscribe, please like this video, please hit notification bell. You will know as soon as we post our next, Psalm 4 short. So thank you very much. We're getting a number of views for those shorts, and we're over 1,000 views just on 3 videos already, 3 shorts. So that's only been barely a week. So really good, not feedback, but a good reaction in terms of people want to see more content like that. So they're just a little time consuming. So enjoy them, and thank you for your time. Till next time, I bid you all shalom aleichem, assalamu alaikum, irini mazisu, pax vobiscum, peace be unto you, and maranatha.